Hello, TheChudude here, and welcome to another edition of the Weekly Rant. With me today, I have Baseball Lover and TheChudude. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
Great.
Okay,
Why
so,
did you actually answer? That's not how this works.
well, you guys are losing your grip. You're not as funny as you used to be. So,
Oh.
last week, the Show d'Italia ended. It was quite an interesting Show d'Italia with some ups and downs. Mostly downs because of all the crashes. But there was one stage in particular that we really want to pick out and talk about. It was the Sankolan stage. For the final 16 kilometers of that stage, there was not a single policeman, but at the top, they had like 5,000 policemen. And we saw an issue there, because, who was it again, the Bodiani rider, what was his name? Boggiano?
Buongiorno.
He got a push from a guy wearing a Lamprey World Championship jersey, and he clicked out his pedal, and he had to start all over again on a 15% climb, which is basically impossible, and Michael Rogers won that stage. What do you guys think about the security on this climb? Could it have been better, and how could it have been better?
Well, of course it could have been better. It was probably one of the worst security there. We saw riders getting really angry at the spectators. Can't remember which rider it was. I can't remember. Some pulled sunglasses off
Oh,
the
Valor
fan and
Pros.
and chucked it away. That shows you how pissed off the riders were. And then on the flip side, we had guys like Adam Hansen and Fumi Beppu giving high fives to the fans and taking photos with them. I mean, it's very polarizing, but I don't know I mean, surely security gotta be upped, and on a stage like Zonkon, you expect fans to be going crazy, drunk fans. You know, it only takes one drunk guy to pretty much ruin someone like a Quintana's race if he wants to, really. And we're lucky that didn't happen. I mean,
We've
yeah,
seen it
I
before in
mean,
history. In the history of the Tour de France, we always see these guys getting hit. I remember one video where this guy went out to take a picture and he hit Jan Ulrich, where Jan Ulrich fell down. You guys remember that in the Tour de France?
Yeah, remember when Lance Armstrong, everyone thought his pedal slipped, but it was actually like a fan hit his wheel?
oh yeah, the bag got caught in the handlebars.
So,
So,
like,
yeah.
but the thing is, like, people are saying the thing that attracts the sport to spectators is the fact that they can get so close to the riders. But if you up the security, they can't get any closer, and they just kind of ruin some of the attraction to the sport. Do you guys think it's necessary to up the security, or do you like to just keep it as it is, and just if you get hit by anything, it's just bad luck? What do you think? What do you think, baseball lover?
Well, I think that's part of like the scene that I always saw like on a mountaintop finish, like everyone's crowding around the rider and it's like hectic. But for the rider, that's horrible. I think there's an easy solution. You saw the amount of security on like the final K, that like nobody was even near it. Everybody was being pushed back by the lines of, you know, cops. But why didn't they just spread those guys out, make it so that the guys could be on the side of the road, but if they did anything, then they know that there's a cop right there that can, get rid of them for it. So I think that's a pretty easy solution. At
I
least we
don't know.
could test that. I don't know if that would work.
Should you be
To me,
allowed to run with them, Chew?
Probably no, but to me the cops were there. The cops looked like they had a VIP pass to bloody watch the race instead of even looking after the race. I mean, like that's what I literally thought. I thought they were like celebrating some like Soldiers' Day or something like that. Like when I was watching it, I didn't notice because they were all like cheering stuff. They didn't care about anything else. And I mean, to an extent, you can up the security, but at the end of the day, it's up to what the fans can do. You know, like we see barriers put up, and the fans are over the barriers, and you really can't do anything about it. Really, I mean, you can put as much barriers up there. Guys are still going to run past it.
I
Really,
actually saw,
yeah.
like, in those final kilometers, I actually saw a few fans getting past the guards. Like, the guards were, like, trying, struggling to hold them back, but they wanted an extra picture, and they were, like, hanging halfway out in the rope, but, well, all
You
the...
can get it. You can get
Yeah,
it.
like,
I got
the
it.
guards didn't do anything. But... this is a touchy subject because when I go to the Tour of Denmark, I want to get as close to the riders as possible. I have my head outside on the road, like over the barriers. I know it's dangerous, but that's just the attraction of this sport. You can get so close to the athletes, you can get their autographs so easy, but it goes on the behalf of their security. But my opinion on this matter is that if you sign up to be a cyclist, you have to take everything that comes with it. And stupid hooligans running on the road is just part of the thing. You guys agree?
I mean, Even like
Yeah.
if you think that as a fan as well, when you're seeing like a Contador struggling going past, you want to give him a push sometimes. Like just
Give
keep him
him a
going.
push so he can slip his pedal and ruin it.
Yeah,
Well, so you
you
let the
feel sorry
Froome
for the
instead.
riders sometimes.
Should do it to Froome instead. I think people would like to see that.
Yeah,
Would he
give
be a
Froome a nice
hero?
push, you know?
Like, you know how everyone hated on this Lamprey guy for pushing, like, Borgiano? What if he had pushed Froome instead in stages like this in the Tour de France? Would everybody
Everyone
like,
would be
yes,
loving him.
like
They'd
sending
be
him
like,
presents?
hail that fan.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if Mick Rogers didn't give a high five to that fan afterwards or something like that. Like that
Give
pretty much
him a
gave
hug
Mick
out.
Rogers the stage.
He probably would have had it anyway, because he looked to be dead in the end. But who knows? It's all what ifs, and you can't go
Probably
back.
had second, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But second or third doesn't matter if you're not first. That's my my
true.
mentality. On another note, in the Tour de France, not Tour de France, Tour d'Italia, one of the big upcoming talents was really good in this year's Tour d'Italia. Tim Bellens said that he was actually better than Fabio Aru and Wilco Kelderman, but he just didn't do better in the actual race because he had other priorities. What do you guys think about this statement? Is it just a bunch of bullcrap, or does it have any meaning? What do you think, TheChudude?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, your actions do the talking, and come on, Wellens, what did he really do? We saw him at the stage where he came second behind Matthews on that when the crashes split up and Rodriguez fell behind them. That's pretty much the most I saw from him. There's no way he's anywhere near the level of someone like Aru. Like, to mention them in the same sentence is kind of humorous. Like, who does he think he is, really?
Actually, he got
Needs to
3
grow.
second places during the shitty Italia. He got 3 second places.
Yeah.
He didn't win a stage, but he got 3 second places.
That's
What do you
funny.
think, Baseball Over? What do you think? You agree with TheChudude?
Yeah, I think that sometimes some people say something, and they want to believe it, but it's completely untrue.
How come? Like, how's it untrue?
He's just not as good.
But he had other
He-
priorities.
But
So-
he did, but he couldn't even hold with some of the guys on the breakaway climbs. I mean, he's a decent guy, and yeah, he was not the team leader. I think that was supposed to be Montfort, who never actually showed that he was a team leader.
He got 14th.
But still, that's no, come on, no.
What do you
He's
think,
not as good
TheChudude?
as Aru.
What are you
He
trying to
might
say?
have been able to slot into like the upper top 10 spices with like Kieserlovsky and those guys, but no way he was going to be near them. No.
But like when someone says something like this, I think it also gets taken out of context sometimes, and he might have meant like he would have been a chance, but we never know. Like sometimes a lot of these things get blown open, and we can't really take every single word for what it is, really. So I think we should, lay down on it as well.
Mhm.
Don't take it too serious.
That's true, but in all honesty, though, he started the race, or because he just fell behind whenever there was a climb in the beginning before he went in the breakaway, or before he got the lucky break with Matthews and Cal Evans and company. He was like 30 minutes behind, so already there he had no chance for the GC. But I would have liked to see what he actually could do against Kelderman and Keselowski if he concentrated on that to begin with. But I mean, again, it's all what ifs. What ifs? Like, if he wouldn't have fell behind, if he was the starting guy, like. Even Fabio Aru wasn't even supposed to be the captain. It was Michel Scarponi and
Yeah, true.
was it Peter Niemet? No, it's not. That's Lamprey. My bad. Who was the
Yeah,
second
no,
guy?
it was just Scarponi and
Brajkovic, Yanni.
Brajkovic.
Exactly.
Brajkovic crashed out and Scarponi just sucked and then he abandoned.
So Aru technically weren't even supposed to be doing good, and he went out there almost winning. Did he win the time trial? The
second
mountain time
to
trial.
Quintana.
He got
to
second,
Quintana.
so he did really good. So it's gonna be tough comparing Valens to them, but if you give him another year and better circumstances, sure, I could compare him with him. But speaking about things maybe taken out of context, we saw that the Tour de France is coming up soon, and Froome called Wiggins. He said he was mentally weak, and I think that's also something that might have been taken out of context. But that's because Wiggins got left out for the Tour de France team. What do you guys think about this decision from Sky, leaving out a guy like Wiggins in their main team?
I'm really sad. Like, for some people, they might not think about it too much, but for someone like Wiggins, the class he is, and also Especially because the race is in Great London this year, it's going to obviously attract a lot of fans, and I think a lot of the English fans, I think, would say enjoy watching Wiggins more than Froome because he's so-called more British. But I find
Less Kenyan.
I find it real I find it real sad because someone like Wiggins, what more did he have to do this year? He did well in Roubaix. He did well. He won California in a pretty good fashion. What happens if he wins Tour de Suisse? I mean, it gets into like kind of like a conundrum. I mean, for someone like Wiggins, he fits into this Tour de France team to support Froome theoretically perfectly because he can support Froome on the flats if there's a crosswind. He can support Froome in the mountains. He can support Froome on that cobbled stage where they don't have that much support. So he fits in pretty much perfectly. But the only thing apparently is Froome doesn't like him, and I think a lot of people used to classify Wiggins as a dick and couldn't get along with Froome, but I think it's the other way around now that Froome just doesn't want anything to do with Wiggins. But who knows? Maybe he thought Wiggins would probably attacked him on that day when Froome has a bad day.
I'm actually thinking he's scared of Wiggins. Like he doesn't want another Tour de France 2012.
Yeah.
13
But
or what?
the opposite.
Yeah, he doesn't want it to happen the opposite way. Where like there was an interview that we just watched where Wiggins was talking to some what's it called? Like it was called. He was talking to a TV station, some TV hosts, and they were talking about why like is it madness that a team guy that Dave Bradford doesn't want you on their team? This is madness. And he's like, well, you see, Froome has eight guys around him the entire year, going to all the same races, while I had other priorities this year, and most of the times. Those domestiques riders will become future champions, like we saw when I won the Tour in back then 2000X. I don't even remember what date it was or what year it was. And then Froome won it, and he probably doesn't want the same thing to happen to him again, or that's what I read out of context from that interview. So, what I'm thinking is that he's scared of that happening. What do you think, Baseball Lover?
Yeah. I think that it is kind of weird. Like, obviously, I hate Sky. Everyone knows this, but I think it's kind of weird that they want. They not want to build the best squad for them to win? And I think that Wiggins, I was doubting him, but he showed in California that he would be part of the best squad, and there has to be something going on behind the scenes, and maybe Froome just he's jealous that
He's stubborn.
when Bradley Wiggins won the Tour, that he got like more recognition for it and stuff. Like Froome wasn't knighted or thrown up in flowers and paraded around London like Bradley Wiggins was, but it's like Froome just is kind of he doesn't like Wiggins because he was forced to stop for Wiggins in 2012. He was forced to do this. He was forced to do that, and now he's just like, why should I give him back anything by even letting him, help me?
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking about this, is that when they were in Great Britain in this year's tour, like they don't care about Froome. They care about Wiggins. Wiggins was the hero for them as the first British rider to win the Tour. He's the one that a lot of people know about cycling now in Britain just because they remember him winning the Tour,
True.
I mean, also, I think Wiggins has gone more. I think he's to me he seems a bit more humble now. I mean, I think he's changed a lot since the guy he was since he won the Tour de France. I mean, for him, like the way he's accepted not being into the role or not accepted into the squad is pretty surprising to me. I mean, he was in the interview we saw, he was pretty down to earth, and he wasn't really firing too many shots at the Team Sky, which I expected. I mean, for Froome to be left out of the Tour, I thought he would have been, saying stuff in interviews, saying bad things about Sky, but we haven't seen that yet. So, for sure, I don't think there'll be any chance of Froome being around in Sky next year. He'll either move to a different team or, Wiggins. I don't see him staying at Sky. I mean, he's going to be going to the track.
Port's winning the Tour next year for Sky because it's his turn.
Technically, they could have gotten first, second, and third. Like, in all honesty, they could have Froome first, Wiggins second, Port third. Like they
Or
could ha-
or switch Wiggins and
exactly, they could
or-
have it however they would like. But one thing, you said he didn't fire that many shots at Sky. He did fire one that I caught. He was saying that he is temporarily pulled out of the Tour de France team, and the host picked up on this. He's like, "What do you mean by temporarily not in the team?" Well, you do know there is this Criterium Dauphiné race going on. If Froome would accidentally crash or have some sickness or not do that well, I would then put in the team as a captain. So for me, that sounded
if
like
you something happens.
So if some
I think it's
fans
gonna
are out
rig it.
there. If some fans is out there not liking
Pays
Froome,
off a
liking
fan
me,
to push him.
yeah, that was the one shot I did hear. But the nice transition over to Tweet of the Week also features Bradley Wiggins. This week's Tweet of the Week is Oleg Tinkov, being the great man he is, saying, "How can Bradley Wiggins be in the yellow jersey all year round? Well, he can come to Tinkov's Saxo Bank and we'll fix it for him." This man is just... There's no stopping this man. Once he's got his eye on the goal, he's going for it. Like, one of the things he said in this past week was, I have a transfer plan. In 2015, I want to have all the great riders. What do you guys think about this mentality?
Good transfer plan.
I mean,
He obviously knows how to win.
he's quoted by saying that the budget for his team is unlimited. So I don't know about that, but I'm getting to love this owner, Oleg Tinkov. I mean, he's doing some great things for his team PR wise. I mean, he rides with his squad to like most of the stages at the Giro this year. He did recons with them and stuff like that. So he's one of the guys who actually support the team really well compared to the other like direct or owners. So I really like Tinkov. He's actually a decent bloke before I actually knew him like well.
He seemed like a
I'm
dick
surprised.
when we first heard about
Yeah.
him.
He
But-
seemed like a money whore, and you know.
Did you know he was the first guy to give Michael Rogers a hug when he won a stage in the Giro d'Italia? He was the first guy at the top of that mountain, the San Colline, to give him a hug. It's pretty freaking cool. Also, you said that he was out like training with the riders. I've seen a picture on Twitter where he's like riding next to the Sky Bus, but he's holding on to the Sky Bus instead of actually riding. I don't know if I can try and find it and put it on screen right now, but it's pretty freaking hilarious because like he's just hanging onto the door while the Sky Bus is driving Oleg Tinkov in a Saxo jersey away. I thought it was pretty hilarious. What do you think about Oleg Tinkov? What's your overall opinion of him, Baseball Lover?
Yeah, and like the way he operated, it just screamed like dick. But he's so funny. I can't even hold him to that. He's just so hilarious.
I want to see him more. I think he's been doing pretty good for Tinkoff Saxo Bank. I was first very like, oh, I'm losing my team, but I think it's kind of humorous having like being a fan of a team with such a great comedian at the head of the like board. It's kind of fun. But
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
I-
no, definitely. No, that's it.
Okay, so we just discussed some transfer plans that Tinkov had. In the peloton, there's also other teams with transfer plans. For example, Warren Barguil, is it Giant Shimano? Yeah, I think he's riding for Giant Shimano. Is leaving Giant Shimano to Sky, and this is probably a great move.
Is it
from him.
confirmed, or was that just like he was
It's-
offered?
It's pretty much confirmed. It's pretty much confirmed. He said indirectly on Twitter, I might be going, and NOS.NL, I think it's called, also said that he's pretty much going. So that means that Warren Barguil, it's probably a great move for him, I think, since he's going to be doing better. Everyone at Sky does pretty good in the mountains. And it's going to be pretty good for Team Giant Shimano because they're going to get a lot of money for him. What do you think, TheChudude? What do you think about this transfer from Warren Barguil?
I think Barguil was one of my riders I've been looking forward to, like seeing what he can do like in the next couple of years. And for him, like Sky, they take any guys with good potential. I mean, they know everything, and it really shows that Barguil definitely has a really good future if Sky are going to bring him on board, definitely. And I don't know how good he can be. I mean, he's going to be a good rider for sure, but I don't know what his potential is. He could probably be a second guy to a contender, but I don't think he'll be someone who can win. I mean, we've seen performances in the past which showed he could maybe do
Vuelta a
something.
Spain, yeah. He won 2 stages.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be good, but how good is the question right now? And nowhere better than to go Sky if you want to do well. I mean,
That's true.
If you want to perform and get the best out of you, marginal gains.
Baseball Lover, what do you think of Warren Barguil?
I'm so sad because he's another young guy with a lot of potential, and he's another young guy that's going to Sky, and it's sad to me because, you think not everybody gets the marginal gains power. Only some people. Those some people are British people. I I know from experience as a Dombrowski fan that not everybody gets the magical gains automatically. And Dombrowski has done crap since he went to Sky. He's got no leadership opportunities, even in the American races. And no, he hasn't shown any marginal gains power. So no, I don't even think that he's gonna get that, and I think it's gonna be a complete failure. And he should have just stayed a Giant, where he had leadership everywhere and a lot of experience and a good, good young guys surrounding him. And now he's just done. He's done. That's it.
That sucks. We'll see. We'll see if he's actually is done. When he's gonna. Only future will tell that. But another guy who's probably had his prime time and most likely won't be going to Sky, it's Thor Hushovd. Thor Hushovd stated that he would leave BMC at the end of the season because he just doesn't feel like he's reaching his full potential. Where could Thor Hushovd go? Like, he's been pretty much everywhere. Like, he's been a credit at the call back in the day, then moved to BMC, and he's been here for a while. And he did pretty good in the last couple of stages in the end of the year last year, where he won like 20 stages, or it felt like that. Jude, where do you think a guy like Thor Hushovd will go?
To be honest, I don't know how much he's got left to offer. I don't really see him really doing that much. I mean, he can win the stages that I don't see him winning much World Tour stages. It's going to be tough to see him win any of those. But I mean, I can see a team maybe a Balkan, maybe a Balkan, best case scenario. If he goes to like a World Pro Tour team, Pro Conti team, he could pretty much dominate that. But I don't know what suits him the best. Does he want to be a leader, or does he want to be a support to someone like a Van Mark, or someone who can potentially win a Roubaix or something like that? I don't know. Maybe I Am Cycling.
That was what I was going to say. I was going to say I Am Cycling with Gustav Erik Larsen and Thomas Löfqvist and Sylvain Chavanel. I think it fit in pretty good there. What do you think, Baseball Lover? Hushovd leaving? Where?
I think that it's kind of in my opinion, he's irrelevant now. I think that he's been fading ever since he got his big contract at BMC. I feel like his last good season was with Garmin in 2011, and since then he's just been declining steadily. He's still got a little left, but I'm not sure. If I was a World Tour team, that I would definitely not sign him up as a leader anymore. And I'm not sure, if he apparently wasn't satisfied at BMC, that I would pick him up as a domestique role. So, I mean, you leave it to the Pro Conti teams. I think I Am is a decent fit, but, they also got Chavanel and Hausler, who, I mean, they didn't do much this year, but they want those opportunities, and I don't know, really. I mean, Hushovd, in my opinion, he's been on the downslope since he left Cervelo, and I don't see him finding his second youth. I think he's pretty much done winning big races.
I agree. Well, we also have to. There's one more team we have to take into consideration. It's Alonso's new team. Because, like, Eva Bosenhagen stated he'd be going there if it happens. Luca Paulinho will go there if it happens. Thor Hushovd kind of fits into that riding style. And also, I think he'd love to be on the same team as Eva Bosenhagen. I think those two would hit it off pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also about Thor Hushovd, I think it's all about what he wants to do. I mean, he's got a lot of say in what he wants to do. I think for what team he goes to. I mean, maybe he goes to a young Denmark team and help out the young riders and give back. But we'll never know. It's up to him, really.
It's Norwegian, by the way. He's not Danish.
Oh yeah.
He's Norwegian.
Yeah, well,
that's a big difference there. Just reminding you.
Scandinavian countries, all the same.
But on that note, guys. Thank you guys for watching this episode of the Weekly Rant. It's been rather lackluster. Nothing's happening this week.
Ooh.
Next week, come back for the Criterion Dauphiné discussion we will be having. But if you have anything you want to ask...
Breschel for life. Breschel for life.
Oh yes, Breschel did win 2 stages in Tour de Luxembourg and is wearing the yellow jersey as of this moment, but we haven't seen any footage of that since the cycling hub has been down. But thank you guys for watching, and go to TheChudude's channel, go to Baseball Lover's channel. If you're watching this on SoundCloud, please re-SoundCloud it. I don't know what it's called, like it, whatever, share it. It means a lot to us, guys. We're getting recognized on Facebook or Cycling News comment section and in the game. It's crazy, guys. I love you guys. See you guys later.